All right, settle down, folks. So, you're going on a cruise. Fantastic! You're probably picturing yourself on a sun-soaked deck, cocktail in hand, maybe dramatically staring off at the ocean like you're in a movie. Or perhaps you're already planning your attack on the midnight buffet. A noble goal, but here's something most people don't spend enough time thinking about: what to pack. And trust me, as someone who's seen a lot of, let's call them, choices, getting this wrong can turn your dream vacation into, well, something you'll be telling therapists about for years. It's like showing up to a job interview in a chicken suit, probably not going to end well. You wouldn't think your t-shirt or your favorite fancy watch could cause an international incident, but oh boy, can they. From accidentally looking like you're auditioning for a role as local crime target in port cities to, and I'm not making this up, breaking actual laws with your fashion choices. Yes, your pants can get you arrested. Your outfits have power. Real, sometimes very inconvenient power. So in this little guide, we're going to break down the 7 most common cruise clothing blunders. We'll talk about why they're a big deal, and more importantly, what you should wear instead to stay safe, comfortable, and, not end up on a local wanted poster. So, whether this is your maiden voyage and you're currently staring at an empty suitcase with a look of sheer panic, or you're a seasoned sea dog who thinks they've seen it all, and maybe you have, maybe you're the one who wore the chicken suit, these tips could save you from a world of embarrassment, discomfort, or, in some cases, actual trouble. Stick around. It might just keep your vacation afloat, or at least keep you out of a Bahamian jail. You're welcome. All right, let's talk about sparkle. That expensive necklace your Aunt Mildred left you, the one that requires its own zip code? Or that watch that costs more than my first car? You might be tempted, especially with all those Instagram moments, to deck yourself out like you're headed to the Oscars when you step off the ship. Look at me, world. I have arrived and I am dripping in disposable income. It's a thought, a very shiny thought. But here's the reality check, folks. While you're admiring the glint of the sun off your diamond pendant, someone else might be admiring it for entirely different reasons. Think of it as a giant glittering pick-me sign for pickpockets. Cruise ports, especially in some beautiful but economically developing regions, can unfortunately have folks who are very, very skilled at spotting valuables on unsuspecting tourists. It's like they have a sixth sense for it. A blangdar, if you will. These aren't your average clumsy oafs, they're professionals. They see that gold chain not as a lovely accessory that complements your tan, but as a quick payday. That Rolex isn't just telling time, it's screaming. I'm probably carrying a lot of cash too. It's an invitation, and trust me, it's one they're very happy to accept. You're basically walking around with a neon sign that says, "Free souvenirs here, just help yourself." So picture this. You're in a vibrant, crowded market in, say, Jamaica. The smells, the sounds, the colors, it's amazing. You're trying to take the perfect selfie. Maybe you're haggling over a wooden parrot, totally absorbed. Someone brushes past you. It's crowded, it happens. No big deal, right? Until a few minutes later you reach up to adjust that beloved necklace, and all you feel is an empty space and a sudden cold dread. Your souvenir just became someone else's. Suddenly your scenic excursion isn't so scenic anymore. Now it's about finding a local police station, trying to explain what happened through a combination of bad charades and Google Translate, and filling out forms that look like ancient scrolls. Your relaxing day in port has morphed into a bureaucratic nightmare. The pina colada you were dreaming of now tastes like regret and paperwork. This is not the vacation memory you were hoping to make, believe me. So what's the smart play here? It's pretty simple, really. Leave the expensive stuff in your cabin safe, that little metal box. It's your best friend. It's like a tiny personal Fort Knox right there in your room. If you absolutely have some sparkle, and hey, I get it. Sometimes you need to feel fancy opt for subtle, non-valuable jewelry. Think costume jewelry, fun fashion pieces that look great but won't cause a financial meltdown if they go missing. Consider those silicone wedding rings. They're actually pretty cool, comfortable, and nobody's going to wrestle you to the ground for one. And for formal night on the ship, that's the time for those fabulous fakes, those dazzling cubic zirconias that look just as impressive under the soft lighting of the dining room. If a faux earring takes a dive into your soup, it's a funny story, not a call to your insurance agent. And that cabin safe isn't just for show. It's small, yeah, but it's secure. Perfect for your passport, any extra cash you're not carrying, and those precious jewels that are better off admiring the inside of a locked box while you're out exploring. Think of it as a spa day for your valuables. They get to relax and so do you. It's a win-win. Okay, next up, let's talk about a fashion choice that seems harmless, even trendy, but can actually get you into some serious trouble in certain parts of the world. Camouflage, yes, that cool camo print on your shorts, your backpack, maybe even your fanny pack if you're feeling particularly retro. You might think it makes you look rugged, adventurous, like you're about to wrestle a crocodile. But here's the thing. In a surprising number of countries, especially popular cruise destinations in the Caribbean and elsewhere, camouflage clothing is a big no-no for civilians. And I mean a no-no. Why, you ask? Well, in many of these places, camo patterns are strictly reserved for the military. Wearing it as a tourist isn't seen as a fashion statement. It can be viewed as disrespectful, or worse, as an attempt to impersonate military personnel. Think about it from their perspective. They see someone in camo, they might not immediately think fashion-forward tourist. They might think potential troublemaker or someone who doesn't respect our laws. This isn't like wearing white after Labor Day, where the worst you get is a snarky comment from your Aunt Carol. This can lead to actual consequences, like fines, confiscation of your camo gear, or even being denied entry to certain places or, in extreme cases, detained. I know, it sounds a little crazy, right? My shorts are a threat to national security? Well, maybe not but it's about respecting local laws and customs. Imagine a tourist wearing a police uniform in your hometown just for kicks. It would be weird, unsettling, and probably illegal. It's kind of the same principle, just with fatigue patterns instead of badges and utility belts. It's all fun and games until you're explaining your cargo pants to a customs official who does not share your sense of humor. Here's a real-life example for you. A passenger on a Caribbean cruise, probably thinking he looked pretty cool in his camo shorts, got off the ship in Barbados. He was promptly stopped by local police. They weren't admiring his fashion sense. They gave him a choice: change the shorts or pay a hefty fine. Suddenly those cool shorts weren't so cool anymore. They became evidence. This isn't just a rumor, it's a documented issue. So where is this a problem? The list is longer than you'd think. In the Caribbean, places like Barbados, Jamaica, St. Lucia, Grenada, Antigua, the Bahamas, Trinidad and Tobago. And it's not just the Caribbean. Countries in Africa like Nigeria, Uganda, Zimbabwe, and even places like Saudi Arabia, Oman and the Philippines have similar restrictions. It's always best to check the specific rules for your destinations before you pack that Rambo-inspired outfit. What's the safer bet then? Ditch the camo when you're cruising to these regions. Opt for solid colors, neutral tones, or other travel-friendly prints that don't scream, "I might be leading a jungle insurgency." There are plenty of stylish and comfortable options out there that won't make you an accidental outlaw. Think khaki, olive green, solid, not patterned, navy, or even a nice floral print if you're feeling adventurous in a non-military way. Save your camouflage backpack for that camping trip back home, or for, actually blending into the forest. When you're on a cruise, the goal is to stand out for your great vacation vibes, not for your unintentional military cosplay. It's a simple switch that can save you a lot of hassle and ensure your shore excursions are memorable for the right reasons, not for an awkward encounter with the local authorities. All right, let's talk about your feet. Those two things at the bottom of your legs that you probably take for granted until they start screaming at you in protest. Cruises are amazing, right? You've got the ship itself, which can be the size of a small city, and then you've got all of those incredible ports of call just begging to be explored. This all sounds wonderful until you realize it involves of walking. A lot. Think about it, trekking from your cabin to the Lido deck for breakfast, then to the theatre, then back to the cabin, then off the ship, through the port terminal onto an excursion bus, walking around ancient ruins or cobblestone streets for hours. Your step counter is going to be working overtime. It's more mileage than you put on your car some weeks. And this is where a very common, very painful mistake happens: choosing style over comfort for your footwear. So many people pack for the idea of a cruise, glamorous evenings, poolside lounging, and they bring shoes to match. Those brand new super chic sandals that look amazing but offer zero support. Those towering heels you bought on sale that you've never actually worn for more than 10 minutes, or those stiff new sneakers that haven't even seen the outside of their box yet. This, my friends, is a recipe for disaster. A painful, blister-filled disaster. By day 2, maybe even day, if you're particularly unlucky or ambitious with your footwear choices, your feet will start to rebel. We're talking blisters the size of small islands, swollen ankles, aching arches. Suddenly, that exciting walking tour of Rome becomes a desperate search for the nearest bench and a pharmacy that sells industrial-strength Band-Aids. Exploring the charming streets of Cozumel? More like hobbling from one shaded spot to another, wincing with every step. It's a classic rookie mistake. You see these people limping around the ship, their faces a mask of quiet agony. They're trying to put on a brave face, but you know, their feet are staging a full-blown mutiny. They're missing out on activities, they're grumpy, and their dream vacation is being overshadowed by the throbbing pain emanating from their lower extremities, all because they wanted their shoes to look good in a photo. So what's the solution? It's not rocket science, but it does require a little foresight. You need to pack shoes that are your feet's best friends, not their worst enemies. First and foremost, tested, broken-in walking shoes. I'm talking about those trusty sneakers that have seen you through countless miles, or those cushioned sandals that feel like walking on clouds. If you buy new shoes for the cruise, wear them around for a few weeks you go. Break them in properly. Also, think about the types of activities you'll be doing. Waterproof footwear like water shoes or sturdy flip-flops is essential for beach ports or any water-based excursions. You don't want to be squelching around in soggy sneakers all day. And for walking around on deck, especially if it's wet from rain or pool spray, slip-resistant shoes are a very good idea. Those decks can get surprisingly slick. And here's a pro tip, a real lifesaver: pack moleskin or blister pads. Even with the best shoes, sometimes a blister can sneak up on you. Having these on hand can be the difference between a minor annoyance and a major vacation ruiner. Treat your feet well and they'll carry you through an amazing adventure. Abuse them with inappropriate footwear and they will make you pay dearly. Now, let's talk about beach days and what happens at the beach. You've had a glorious time soaking up the sun, swimming in crystal clear waters. Maybe you even built a sandcastle that vaguely resembles a famous landmark. You're feeling relaxed, a little salty, and probably still in your swimsuit. And you think, hey, I'll just pop into that cute little cafe for a gelato, or let's browse those shops on the way back to the ship. Hold on a second there, Speedo 1 Kenobi. While that might fly in some super casual beach towns back home, in many cruise ports, especially in Europe, wandering around town in just your swimwear is a major no-no. And it's not just considered impolite. It can actually be illegal and lead to some hefty fines. Yes, your bikini top could cost you more than your entire gelato budget for the week. Think about places like Italy or Spain, particularly in popular Mediterranean coastal towns. They love tourists, they really do. But they also have local customs and a sense of public decency. And recently, many of these communities have started to crack down on what they sometimes call visual pollution, which apparently includes you in your damp board shorts trying to order a cappuccino. Imagine this scenario. You've just had a lovely swim in Positano. The Amalfi Coast is stunning. You're still in your bikini top and a sarong, or maybe just your swim trunks. And you decide to walk a few blocks into the village to grab a souvenir, or that aforementioned gelato. Suddenly, a local police officer approaches you. They're not asking for directions. They're pointing at your attire, and then at a sign you didn't notice, and then they're writing you a ticket for a couple of €100. Ouch! Why the crackdown? Well, these are historic towns, places where people live and work. They're not just giant water parks. While they welcome visitors to enjoy their beautiful beaches, they also expect a certain level of decorum once you step off the sand and into the streets, shops and restaurants. It's about respect for the local culture and the residents. They don't want their town square looking like a pool party gone rogue. So, what's the smart and respectful thing to do? It's pretty simple. Pack and use a proper cover-up. For ladies, a lightweight sundress, a tunic, a caftan, or even a long shirt that you can easily throw on over your swimsuit is perfect. For guys, a t-shirt or a casual button-down shirt and a pair of shorts, not your dripping wet swim trunks, will do the trick. Keep these items in your beach bag. Think quick change options. As soon as you're done with the beach or pool and heading into a public area that isn't strictly beach-focused, take a moment to cover up. It takes, 30 seconds? And it shows that you're a considerate visitor, not just another oblivious tourist who thinks the whole world is their personal changing room. Plus, it saves you the embarrassment and expense of an unexpected fine. Locals really do appreciate it when visitors make an effort to respect their norms. It's a small gesture, but it goes a long way in fostering goodwill. So enjoy the beach, get that tan, have a fantastic swim, but when it's time to explore the town, put on some clothes. Your wallet and the local constabulary will thank you for it. Okay, fashionistas, let's have a little chat about accessories. Specifically, that gorgeous, high-end, super expensive designer handbag you absolutely love. You know the one, the Louis Vuitton, the Gucci, the Chanel tote that cost a small fortune but makes you feel like $1 million. You might be thinking, it's a cruise, I want to look my best, and this bag completes my outfit. And you're not wrong, it probably does look fabulous. But here's the catch. While you're admiring how chic it looks dangling from your arm as you stroll through a bustling port city market, you're not the only one admiring it. That beautiful bag isn't just attracting envious glances from fellow tourists. It's also a flashing neon sign for thieves screaming, "I am carrying valuable items," and the bag itself is worth a lot too. Think about it. Criminals, especially those who specialize in targeting tourists, are very savvy. They know their designer labels. They know that even an empty designer bag can be resold for a good price. So, carrying that flashy tote isn't just risking what's inside. You're risking the bag itself. And some of these thieves are incredibly brazen. They might just snatch the entire bag and make a run for it. Even the more discreet pickpockets, the ones who are masters of stealth, often target people who appear wealthy. And what's a more obvious indicator of potential wealth than a prominent designer logo? It's like painting a bullseye on yourself. You become a preferred customer for the local light-fingered brigade. It's an unfortunate reality, but it's one you need to be aware of. So where are the particular danger zones for your precious purse? Think large crowded markets like the straw market in Nassau or the busy shopping areas in 𝗁𝗂𝗃𝗃. These places are fantastic for finding unique souvenirs, but the crowds also provide excellent cover for pickpockets. Public transport in big Mediterranean cities can also be risky, as can those charming but narrow, winding alleyways in historic port towns like Marseille or Casablanca. You're trying to soak in the atmosphere, maybe take some photos, and your attention is naturally divided. That's exactly what these opportunistic thieves are counting on. A moment of distraction is all they need, and suddenly that beautiful bag and everything in it, like your phone, your wallet, your room key, is gone. Your lovely day ashore just turned into a major headache, so what are the safer, smarter choices? You don't have to sacrifice style entirely, but you do need to prioritize security. Consider a simple, chic crossbody bag, the kind that stays snug against your body and is harder for someone to grab. Even better if it has anti-theft features like slash-proof straps, locking zippers, or RFID blocking pockets to protect your credit cards. Cruise lines often sell their own branded backpacks or tote bags on board. These can be surprisingly practical and don't scream expensive target. There are also many travel-specific purses and bags designed with security in mind, hidden compartments, discreet styling. The goal is to look smart and put together, not like a walking advertisement for luxury goods. You'll feel safer, more relaxed, and you can focus on enjoying the destination instead of constantly worrying about your bag. Cruising often offers incredible opportunities to visit some of the world's most breathtaking and historically significant religious landmarks. We're talking about magnificent cathedrals in Italy, ancient temples in Greece, stunning mosques in Turkey or the Middle East. These are places of deep cultural and spiritual importance, and visiting them can be a truly awe-inspiring once-in-a-lifetime experience. However, with great cultural significance comes great responsibility, or at least a dress code. These aren't amusement parks, they are active places of worship and reverence, and as such, they almost always have strict rules about what visitors should wear. Showing up in an outfit that's considered too revealing or disrespectful can, at best, cause offense, and at worst, get you denied entry. And trust me, you don't want to travel thousands of miles only to be turned away at the door. What kind of outfits are we talking about? Well, generally, anything that's too revealing is out. For many Christian sites, like St. Peter's Basilica in Vatican City, this means covering your shoulders and your knees. No tank tops, no spaghetti straps, no strapless tops, no mini skirts, and no shorts that are, well, too short. It applies to both men and women. Think modest, respectful. Similarly, if you're visiting mosques, the dress code is often even more specific. Women will typically be required to cover their hair, arms, and legs. Sometimes venues will provide robes or scarves for visitors, but it's always better to be prepared with your own appropriate attire. Wearing hats inside many religious buildings, unless it's a religious head covering, is also often frowned upon or prohibited. It's all about showing respect for the sanctity of the place. Imagine you've booked an excursion to see some incredible ancient temples. You're excited, you've read all about them. You get there, and the guide says, "Sorry, your shorts are too short," or "Madam, you need to cover your shoulders." Suddenly you're faced with a choice: miss out on seeing this amazing place, or try to MacGyver a solution with a souvenir t-shirt and a beach towel. Neither is ideal. So what should you pack to ensure you're always prepared and respectful? It's actually quite easy. A light scarf or shawl is incredibly versatile. It can be draped over your shoulders, used as a head covering if needed, or even tied around your waist, as a makeshift long skirt in a pinch. For women, a long skirt, below the knee, or a pair of lightweight linen pants are excellent options. For both men and women, a short-sleeve cardigan or an oversized button-down shirt that you can easily slip on over a t-shirt or tank top is a smart addition to your day pack. When you know you'll be visiting religious sites, it's about being adaptable. You can wear your regular comfortable tourist attire for most of the day, then quickly add a layer or two when it's time to enter a sacred space. Showing cultural respect isn't just about following rules. It's about being a good ambassador for your own country and a considerate guest in someone else's. It enriches your travel experience and ensures you get to see these incredible places without any awkwardness or disappointment. A little bit of planning with your wardrobe can open doors literally to some of the most profound and beautiful sights the world has to offer. All right, let's talk about dinner on the cruise. One of the great joys, right? No cooking, no cleaning, just showing up to a dining room where people bring you delicious food. But here's something that trips up more cruisers than you'd think: the dress code. Yes, even on a relaxed vacation, there are still some rules about what you can and cannot wear to dinner, especially in the main dining rooms and specialty restaurants. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Dress code? It's my vacation. I should be able to wear whatever I want. And to some extent, cruise lines have definitely become more relaxed over the years. You're not expected to be in a tuxedo every night like in the old movies. Unless you want to be, which is also cool. But relaxed doesn't mean anything goes. There's a difference between casual and, well, sloppy. The most common mistakes? People showing up to the main dining room in their gym clothes, still sweaty from a workout, or wearing tank tops, flip-flops and swimsuits directly from the pool. And on those designated formal nights or elegant chic evenings, rocking up in loungewear, ripped jeans or a baseball cap is generally frowned upon, deeply. Why does it even matter, you ask? Well, for a couple of reasons. First, it's about the overall dining experience. These restaurants, especially the main dining rooms and the fancier specialty spots, are trying to create a certain ambience, a nice atmosphere for all their guests. Someone in a wet bathing suit at the next table can kind of kill the vibe when you're trying to enjoy your lobster thermidor. Second, and this is the big one, some restaurants on board will actually turn you away if you don't meet the dress code. Yes, you read that right. You could be all excited for that special dinner you booked, or looking forward to the famous lobster night. And if you're not dressed appropriately, you might find yourself politely, or not so politely, redirected to the buffet. Which is fine, but not if you had your heart set on something a bit more upscale. So what do cruise lines typically require? For most nights, it's usually smart casual or cruise casual. Think polo shirts, khakis, sundresses, nice blouses, slacks. Basically what you might wear to a decent restaurant back home. For the more formal nights, there are usually one or two on a typical 7-night cruise, they'll step it up. This could mean cocktail dresses, evening gowns, suits, tuxedos, or at the very least a button-down shirt, maybe a blazer and dress shoes. The key is to check your cruise line's specific dress code guidelines before you even start packing. They usually have this information on their website or in your cruise documents. And it's always better to err on the side of slightly overdressed than too casual. You can always take off a blazer if you feel too formal, but it's harder to conjure up a collared shirt out of thin air if you're in a tank top. So, what should you definitely pack? At least 1 or 2 formal or elegant outfits, depending on the length of your cruise and the number of formal nights. Versatile pieces are your friend. A little black dress can be dressed up or down, a smart blazer can elevate a more casual outfit, and definitely pack closed-toe shoes for the fancier venues. Some don't allow flip-flops or athletic sandals in the evening. Dressing up a bit is part of the fun of cruising for many people. Embrace it. So there you have it. 7 common clothing catastrophes that can throw a real monkey wrench into your otherwise amazing cruise vacation. Cruises are all about adventure, relaxation, maybe finding a new poolside best friend, and discovering incredible new places. But as we've seen, making poor clothing choices can lead to some serious downsides: discomfort, hello blisters, embarrassment, like being the only one in a bikini at the Vatican, or even actual fines. Who knew your t-shirt could be so powerful? The real key, folks, is to strike that perfect balance between looking good, feeling good, staying safe, and being practical. It's not about a fashion show, it's about enjoying your trip without unnecessary drama. Remember to respect the cultural expectations of the places you're visiting. Do a little homework on your destinations, know the local customs, know the dress codes for religious sites, and always choose function over flash when you're out exploring. When in doubt, pack versatile pieces, things you can layer, modest options, and clothing that's friendly to whatever weather you might encounter. Your outfits should be the supporting cast to your amazing travel story, not the villain that complicates the plot. They should help you enjoy your cruise, not make you wish you'd stayed home and just looked at pictures on the internet. Hopefully these tips will help you avoid some common packing pitfalls and make your next voyage smooth sailing, at least in the wardrobe department. If this guide helped you out, or if you just enjoyed my charming wit, do us a favor and hit that like button. Got a packing mistake of your own to share? Maybe a story about that one time your Hawaiian shirt caused an international incident? Drop it in the comments below. We'd love to hear your stories. And let's be honest, we all learn from each other's blunders. And don't forget to subscribe to 4 ever-diverse journeys for more cruise tips, travel hacks, and destination guides. We post twice a week to keep your travels top-notch. Safe travels, happy cruising, and try not to get arrested by the fashion police.